The Lord is my keeper.
Amen.
I need him. I could be dead in a matter of minutes. I'm scared. I'm scared because I'm working with and for the King of Kings. His name is Artaxerxes. He's the son of Xerxes. He calls himself the Lord of the universe. He's a powerful man. He's the most powerful man on the face of the earth. Or so he says. And I'm his servant. I'm the one, his cupbearer. I have to taste everything that he eats. I have to sip every wine that he sips to be sure that no one is going to kill him. But now I'm in desperate danger. My brother Hannah and I came to us from Jerusalem several months ago. 4 months ago, and he said, the city's in destruction, the walls are down, the gates are burned. And not only that, but Megabysos is fostering a rebellion on the other side of the river. And he's saying that we Jews are joining in the rebellion. Hanani, my brother, his name means God is gracious. And he brings word of disgrace. Do you know if you rebelled against the king? He has a way to deal with you. He puts you on a stake. He impales you. If you're lucky, the impalement will last minutes. If he wants you to suffer, you're impaled for up to 3, 4, 5 days before you die in absolute agony. So after 4 months of prayer and consideration, my brother, with his word saying that we are in disgrace, I'm coming before the king. He said to me, Nehemiah, something's wrong. I can see it in your face. What is it? Now, I must tell you, if you lie to the king, remember what I told you about being impaled? You don't lie to the king. You know, there's a temptation to make it better. Oh, everything is fine. If you're going to be a leader, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Not brutal to other people, but brutally honest to yourself. What do you say? I see in your eyes something is wrong. I see that something is bothering you. He said, it must be a matter of the heart. I know you're not sick. A moment of truth. You see, that's what being a leader and being in leadership is about. It's always a moment of truth, no matter where you are. As you lead, as I led, keep that in mind. Yes, my king, I'm distressed because my people in Jerusalem, the walls are down, the gates are burned, but more than that, we're being accused of being disloyal. You ever been out of your comfort zone? I was out of mine. depending on how he took it. Now, before I answered, I prayed. All the way through, I prayed. That's one thing about being a leader. Wrap yourself in prayer, because that's their best support. I held my breath to see his response, and he said, "Well, what do you want to do about it?" Another moment of truth. What if I told him what I wanted to do about it and he doesn't agree? Some things are at stake. Maybe me. May the King live forever. Send me to Jerusalem to rebuild the walls, to restore my people, your people. Because you see, if the walls are down and the gates are destroyed, it basically says that your God is weak and useless. So God's reputation is at stake here. In your leadership, God's reputation is at stake. Don't take it lightly. Anything else? Yes, sir, send me. That's number one. Number two, give me letters of safe passage. Number three, give me access to the king's forest, his trees, so I can take timber to rebuild. Number four, give me a military escort. Some people say that's pretty nerdy. But if God puts something on your heart to do, do it, and do it well. See, I didn't just say, let me go. Oh, no, that's different. Let me go, I'm going on my own call. Send me, I'm going on a mission for the king. Makes a difference. You sent me. It was a long journey. Along the way, I wondered and prayed a lot. When I got there, I didn't just jump in and start doing things. By the way, when you get to a new assignment in ministry, don't just jump in with all the answers. Because I'll guarantee you, you don't have them. I didn't have them. I'd heard about what was going on. It had been 140 years since Jerusalem had been destroyed. Hezekiah, my father, his name means God is hidden. He'd grown up in desperation. My name means God is one who gives consolation. I spent 3 days just going around Jerusalem. I'd heard, but now I had to see for myself. I had to experience what was going on. I did a night recon, myself and just a few people. Things were so broken down I couldn't ride my mount. I had to get off and dismount. Yeah. When you lead, you sometimes have to get down in the dirt to do it. After that, I brought the people together. They knew what it was. They knew that was there on a mission from the king. And I said, my brothers and sisters, our goal is to build the wall. Have you ever seen mission statements that are 3 pages long? By the time you get to the bottom of it, you don't know what you've read. Have you ever heard sermons like that? They're so long you don't know what was said. I had to first of all get the facts. Then I had to get a goal. The goal was simple. 3 words. Build the wall. That's not complicated. A child can understand it. If people can't understand what your goal is, you're not leading. You're floundering. And so are the people. Build the wall. The next thing I had to do is I had to check my assets. Well, some of my assets were, I was sent by the king. I had a military escort. I had wood from the forest, from Asaph, the keeper of the forest. But I had bigger assets than that. I had people. And when you lead, when you minister, people are your most valuable asset. It's not money, it's people. If you don't have people, you have nothing. I gathered the people together, and we prayed, and we began to organize. In fact, I wrote a book about it. Third chapter. There are 41 different groups of people that were organized to build the wall. So if your house was next to the wall, and that's where some people lived, their house was right, their back of their house was the wall. So I didn't send you to build over there. I sent you to build the wall where you lived. And I sent you to build the wall where you lived. And I sent, you see, get people involved in meaningful ways. If you're building the wall next to your house, how are you going to build it? Very well. Because it's your house. The people worked hard. They put themselves into it totally. And by the way, if you read my book, you'll see that my leaders and myself, we carried the water for the people. Now, in our culture, carrying water is something that the women do. It's beneath the dignity of leaders to carry water. When you lead, there is nothing beneath your dignity. And it doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman, all of us need to work together. And we did. Well, kind of. There were the leaders at Tekoa. They said, we don't do walls. And you'll find people when you lead, you'll find people that won't put their shoulder to the wheel. Don't stop. Just work around it. And that's what we did. The tribes of Tekoa, the people of Tekoa, they looked at their leaders and they started to work and rebuild right around them. And the leaders were standing there alone, and they found out that they weren't leaders at all. And when they saw that, they pitched in too. And you're leading and people are dragging their feet, just keep going. There's a fellow by the name of Stenbakken. His name means the moon god is God. Stenbakken, Samaritan. Oh, ethnic tensions, to be sure. Stenbakken, Tobiah, Geshem. Tobiah, he's an Ammonite. Geshem, the Arab, well, Stenbakken, I told you, his name means the moon god is God. Tobiah, his name means God is good. It's a good name, but he wasn't a good person. Don't judge a person. Don't judge a scroll by the cover, okay? Geshem the Arab, his name means rain. Whenever you set out to do something for God, I will guarantee you someone's there to rain on your parade. Geshem was there to rain. They came and they mocked us. They said, wow. Stenbakken said, hey, your wall is so weak that if a fox ran up on it, it would collapse. Others said, you can't bring life back to these dead stones. You see, when the fires came, that's why I took wood, because there was a layer of stone and then there's a wood layer that helps keep stabilization, and it's anti-earthquake. Yes, we did that way back then. So when the wood burned, the stones were heated and they were destroyed. And they were mocking us. They said, your wall is nothing. And if you don't stop, we'll attack you. And if you don't stop, we'll rat you out to the king. They're going to tell the king about us? What do I have in hand? I have written orders from the king. Build a papyrus trail. They threatened, and they came with armies, and the people said, what will we do? I said, we'll pray. And we'll have plan B. Plan B is, there's a trumpet over here, over here, over here, over there. Whenever you hear the trumpet, that's where we'll go, because that's where they're attacking. You see, if you're going to lead, you better have plan A, B, and C, at least. They wanted to stop us. When they couldn't stop us, they came and they said to me, come down to the plain of Ono. Let's talk it over. That's an invitation to dance with the devil. See, you'll have distractors inside and outside when you try to lead. And this was a major distraction, but the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. I'm on a mission for the Most High King. Oh yes, the King. But more than that, the King. Come down to the plain of Ono. And I said, oh no. Oh no. I'm not going to lay down the work that I'm doing and get distracted with you. I will not do it. Oh no. Then they hired someone else called Shemaiah. He was one of our Jews. He came to me and he said, Nehemiah, you've got to go hide in the temple, because they're going to get after you. They're going to hurt you. They're going to kill you. Shemaiah means God has heard. But I didn't listen to him because God had not spoken to him. God sent me on a mission. And I'm not going to be distracted by either outside pressures or inside pressures. I am on a mission for the King. And so are you. The people worked with all their heart. They labored. They built a team. They worked together. That's what we need to do when we're building God's kingdom. We need to work together. 52 days later, the wall was built. Some people said it's impossible, but with God, all things are possible. And you see, we had a big celebration because we had done what God asked us to do. And when you lead people, don't forget to celebrate victories. Don't just go on to the next one. Celebrate what's been done, and it builds people. Well, before I left, the king said, I want you to come back and report. So I rebuilt we rebuilt not only the wall, but we rebuilt the community. We rebuilt marriage. We rebuilt worship. We rebuilt the covenant. It wasn't just the wall. The wall was very visible. But I went back to the house of the king, to the palace of the king, and reported all that had been done at his direction. And then after a time, I came back to Jerusalem, this time not as a builder, but as a judge. You see, Sanballat, his daughter was married to the son of the high priest. I threw them out. Geshem, the Arab, was living in the temple precincts. I threw him out. You know, there's something about my story that you may find interesting. Because there's another one who will come to this broken down earth to build things up. He will walk among us and be one of us. And he will struggle with rejection and challenges inside and out. And then he will go back to the courts of the king. And then he will come again. If you're going to lead, get the facts. Get a goal. Check your resources. An important thing is, don't kick sand on where you were, because God can use the talents you've already developed in the past in new ways. Amen. And wrap everything in prayer. Well, I started out serving wine to the king, and then hope to the people, and ultimately salvation to those who would listen. Because why?